Not every flower is just a flower. Some carry a mystery so deep that for centuries people have whispered about their hidden power. They bloom not only to please the eye, but to awaken fortune, to guard health, and to invite peace into the lives of those who keep them close. From the misty temples of the East to the enchanted gardens of the West, cultures across the world have believed that certain flowers are not mere ornaments, they are living treasures, sacred allies of the human spirit. Picture this: a quiet morning, sunlight streaming gently through your kitchen window. A single plant, sitting humbly in a pot, opens its petals to the light. To an unknowing eye, it's only a bloom, but to those who understand, it's far more. That flower may be working in silence, gathering prosperity from unseen currents, dissolving the heavy weight of conflict, shielding your home from hidden misfortune. It asks for nothing more than your care, yet it gives back blessings beyond measure. This belief is not bound to one land or faith. In Feng Shui, flowers embody the energy of renewal and abundance, turning stagnant spaces into flowing channels of life force. In Buddhist teachings, the care of a flower mirrors the cultivation of the soul. What you water grows, what you neglect withers. In ancient European traditions, blossoms were woven into wreaths to ward off evil and invite fertility. Even today, science quietly confirms what sages have known all along. Flowers affect mood, lower stress, and shape the energy of the environment itself. Think of your own experience. Have you ever stepped into a room filled with vibrant blooms and felt your chest expand, your breath soften, as if hope itself had entered the air? That shift is not imaginary. It is the subtle language of flowers, speaking directly to your spirit. If beauty alone can lift your heart in moments, imagine what might happen if you surrounded yourself with blooms chosen not just for color, but for their ancient connection to wealth, harmony, and well-being. Here lies the secret. Flowers are more than decoration. They are silent keepers of fortune, weaving unseen threads between the visible and the invisible. They hold within them the essence of growth, the cycle of birth and renewal, the promise that even in the darkest times, life will bloom again. And so tonight, we open the gates to this hidden garden of wisdom. You were about to discover 8 extraordinary flowers, plants that have been cherished as natural amulets, each carrying its own blessing. Flowers that can transform your home into a sanctuary, turning ordinary corners into portals of abundance, joy, and peace. Stay with me until the end of this journey, because once you know their names and their secrets, you will never look at a flower in your home the same way again. Every petal will whisper of fortune. Every fragrance will remind you of harmony, and every bloom will stand as proof that nature itself is always on your side, ready to bless, protect, and guide you, if only you choose to let it in. Take a deep breath. Open your senses. Let us step together into this mystical realm where flowers are not just beauty, but destiny itself.
Flowers are not just fragile ornaments scattered by the wind. They are symbols of life itself, the eternal cycle of birth, growth, decay, and renewal. To see a flower bloom is to witness nature whispering, life continues, beauty returns, hope is never lost. That is why, across cultures, flowers have always been revered as carriers of luck, health, and sacred energy. In Buddhist philosophy, no flower carries greater weight than the lotus. Rising, unstained from muddy waters, the lotus is more than beauty, it is a teaching. It reminds us that even in suffering, we can awaken. It symbolizes enlightenment, the triumph of wisdom over ignorance, peace over struggle. To place a lotus in your home is not merely to enjoy its elegance, it is to invite the essence of resilience, transformation, and spiritual clarity. In Feng Shui, flowers are seen as catalysts of energy. They do not simply exist in space, they magnify the atmosphere around them. A room filled with vibrant blooms does not just look brighter, it feels brighter. Flowers transform stagnant energy into movement, sadness into joy, emptiness into abundance. Their colors, shapes, and even fragrances are believed to amplify the flow of qi, the life force that determines prosperity, health, and harmony within a home. But even beyond spiritual traditions, there is a truth that modern psychology cannot deny. Flowers heal. Studies show that their presence reduces stress, lowers anxiety, and even accelerates recovery in hospitals. The sight of blossoms sparks optimism, while their scent influences memory and emotion in ways science is only beginning to understand. What sages once framed as luck or blessing may, in today's language, be called the psychological power of positive environment. Think about this. When you bring a flower into your space, you are not just adding decoration. You are bringing in a living pulse, a fragment of nature's infinite cycle, a gentle yet powerful reminder that life is always renewing itself. That is why, for centuries, people have placed flowers in homes, temples, and even graves to mark beginnings, honor endings, and carry blessings across the thresholds of existence. So ask yourself this question: do you still believe flowers in your home are just for decoration? Or could it be that every bloom carries an invisible force, quietly shaping the energy of your life in ways you never realized?
The first flower, the lotus. The lotus is unlike any other flower, for it blooms from the mud, yet remains untouched by impurity. To see a lotus rising gracefully above murky waters is to witness the miracle of resilience and purity. Across Asia, it has long been revered not only for its beauty, but for the profound spiritual lesson it carries. In Buddhism, the lotus is the supreme symbol of enlightenment. Its journey mirrors our own human path. Though we are born into a world full of struggle, illusion, and suffering, we can rise above it all to reach clarity and wisdom. That is why Buddha is often depicted seated on a lotus throne. The flower becomes the very seat of compassion, mindfulness, and liberation. To bring a lotus into your home is to invite serenity, to remind yourself daily that true wealth is not material possession, but peace of mind and purity of heart. In Feng Shui, the lotus is considered one of the most powerful purifiers of energy. A lotus pond, a painting, or even a single pot of lotus placed in your living space is believed to cleanse stagnant vibrations and dissolve hidden negativity. It restores harmony, soothes emotional tension, and strengthens the bond among family members. The lotus is especially potent when it grows in water, for water represents flow and renewal, and the lotus brings purity to that flow. This is why temples across Asia often have lotus ponds at their entrance. Before one even steps inside sacred ground, the lotus has already begun the work of washing away worldly dust. Even modern science finds the lotus remarkable. Its leaves display what researchers call the lotus effect, a natural self-cleaning ability that repels dirt and water. Symbolically, this is a living lesson. No matter how polluted the environment, one can remain pure and untouched.
Psychologists also note that lotus blossoms, with their symmetrical beauty and gentle colors, induce calmness and reduce stress. Simply seeing a lotus can activate peace in the mind, while its subtle fragrance helps focus and relaxation. In today's chaotic world, the lotus is not just decoration, it is a silent healer, a reminder of stillness. Planting a lotus at home is not merely an act of gardening, it is an act of awakening. Each bloom is like a message whispered from nature. No matter how dark or heavy the waters of life may become, you too have the strength to rise, untouched, and shine. To grow a lotus is to grow enlightenment itself. And to place it in your home is to invite peace, purity, and abundance into the very core of your being.
The second flower, the rose. Among all flowers, the rose reigns as the eternal symbol of love, passion, and beauty. Its delicate petals, layered like whispers of a secret, have fascinated poets, mystics, and lovers for thousands of years. To place roses in the home is not simply to add fragrance or color. It is to invite harmony, warmth, and connection into the heart of the household. Each color of the rose carries a distinct vibration. Red roses embody the fire of passion and courage, igniting the flame of intimacy and determination. White roses breathe purity, innocence, and peace, softening the soul with their quiet elegance. Yellow roses radiate joy, prosperity, and friendship, turning the home into a sanctuary of laughter and abundance. Together, they weave a tapestry of emotional energy that transforms a cold space into a living heart. In mystical traditions, the rose has long been seen as more than a flower. It is a spiritual talisman. Ancient rituals often use rose petals to call upon blessings of love, protection, and fortune. In parts of the Middle East, rose water was sprinkled around the home to banish sorrow and invite sweetness. In European folklore, placing rose petals under a pillow was believed to bring dreams of true love, while in Eastern practices, roses were offered to deities as a channel to connect with divine compassion. To this day, in weddings across cultures, roses remain the universal emblem of union, as if their bloom seals a vow between hearts. From a psychological perspective, roses have a profound impact on the human mind. Their fragrance reduces anxiety and fosters relaxation, while their vibrant colors stimulate joy and inspiration. Studies even suggest that the presence of roses in a home can improve relationships, nurturing empathy and understanding between family members. It is as though the rose whispers silently, reminding us of the importance of tenderness, forgiveness, and emotional connection. In Feng Shui, roses are considered magnets of positive qi when placed thoughtfully. A vase of fresh roses in the living room can energize family bonds, while a rose garden outside the home acts as a guardian of love and prosperity. However, one must also be mindful. Wilted or dried roses, left unattended, are said to attract stagnant energy and sadness, as if love itself has withered. This is why tending to roses with care is also a spiritual act. By nurturing the flower, you nurture the energy it brings. To grow roses in your space is to grow the essence of love itself. Each bloom carries a message to live passionately, to connect deeply, and to treasure the bonds that make life meaningful. Whether you hold a single red rose in your hand or surround yourself with a garden of colors, the energy of the rose becomes part of you. In its beauty lies a hidden power, the power to open hearts, to heal wounds, and to bless a home with joy, abundance, and harmony.
The third flower is the sunflower. The sunflower is unlike any other bloom. It carries within itself the very image of the sun. Towering tall, with golden petals stretching outward like rays of light, this flower is nature's emblem of optimism, growth, and abundance. Wherever it grows, it seems to transform the atmosphere, filling the air with vitality and hope. What makes the sunflower extraordinary is its natural tendency to turn its face toward the sun, following its path from dawn until dusk. This simple act has become a powerful symbol of faith, perseverance, and the ability to always seek light even in the darkest of times. To bring sunflowers into your home is to invite this same energy, a constant reminder to look forward, to rise after hardship, and to embrace life with unshakable optimism. In Feng Shui, the sunflower is often regarded as a magnet for prosperity. Its golden hue reflects the element of fire, a color long associated with wealth, success, and good fortune. By placing sunflowers in the home, whether as fresh flowers, paintings, or decorative motifs, you align your living space with the radiant energy of the sun itself. This solar chi is said to attract financial opportunities, strengthen ambition, and keep the household bathed in positive energy. Families who place sunflowers in their kitchen or living room often report a sense of warmth and unity, as though the flower gathers everyone under its bright protective glow. Culturally, the sunflower carries deep spiritual resonance. In ancient Incan civilization, sunflowers were revered as sacred, representing the sun god Inti, and priests wore crowns of golden sunflower petals during rituals of abundance. In modern symbolism, the flower has become a beacon of resilience, standing tall against storms, yet always returning to the light. Its unwavering devotion to the sun reflects an inner truth. Where you place your focus, your energy will grow. Psychologically, the effect of sunflowers is profound. Their size, brightness, and openness uplift the human spirit, combating gloom and negativity. Even a single sunflower in a vase can transform the mood of a room, instilling confidence and joy. They remind us that abundance begins not with material wealth, but with an abundant mindset, seeing possibility where others see limitation, and choosing light over despair. Imagine a corner of your home graced by a bouquet of sunflowers. The space suddenly feels alive, warm, almost as if a piece of the summer sun has entered your world. This is the sunflower's hidden gift. It teaches that wealth, happiness, and resilience are not distant treasures to be found, but energies you can cultivate right now, simply by facing the light.
The fourth flower, the peony. The peony has long been celebrated as the queen of flowers in Chinese culture, a title that speaks to its unmatched beauty, elegance, and power. With its lush, layered petals unfolding like waves of silk, the peony is more than just a flower. It is a living emblem of prosperity, nobility, and abundance. To encounter a blooming peony is to witness the language of wealth written in nature itself. Its presence has the ability to transform not just a room, but the destiny of a household, which is why it is often planted in imperial gardens, temples, and homes of those who seek fortune and influence. In the realm of symbolism, the peony represents honor, high social standing, and refined grace. In Feng Shui, it is considered a magnet for prosperity and is often recommended for those wishing to attract wealth and recognition. A peony in full bloom carries the energy of expansion and success. Just as its petals unfold without limit, so too does it encourage opportunities and blessings to multiply in one's life. To display peonies in your home is to send a clear signal to the universe. You are ready to embrace luxury, respect, and fulfillment. Historically, peonies were treasured by emperors and nobles. They adorned palaces, were woven into royal robes, and inspired poetry and art across dynasties. In ancient paintings, peonies were often depicted alongside symbols of longevity, reinforcing the belief that true wealth is not fleeting, but enduring. To this day, the peony is seen as a cultural bridge between earthly prosperity and spiritual abundance.
It reminds us that prosperity is not only measured in material terms, but also in the richness of relationships, honor, and inner peace. Spiritually, the peony carries a soft yet commanding energy. Its fragrance is said to calm the heart and elevate the spirit, while its presence creates an atmosphere of dignity and confidence. It whispers a subtle lesson. True prosperity arises not from greed or force, but from blossoming naturally, in harmony with the cycles of life. Psychologically, surrounding yourself with peonies can have a profound effect. Their grandeur instills a sense of worthiness, an inner reminder that you deserve beauty, respect, and success. For those who struggle with self-doubt or fear of scarcity, the peony becomes a teacher, guiding you to expand your vision and believe in your right to flourish.
The fifth flower, the tulip. In Europe, the tulip has long been seen as a symbol of luck, prestige, and elegance. During the 17th century, in what is now known as the era of tulip mania in the Netherlands, tulips were so highly prized that they became more valuable than gold. This wasn't just an economic phenomenon, it was also a cultural one. People believed tulips carried a vibration of fortune, recognition, and prosperity. To own tulips, whether in your garden or your home, was to declare yourself aligned with success and abundance. Tulips carry a profound symbolic richness through their colors. A red tulip embodies passion and love, strengthening relationships and family bonds. A yellow tulip radiates joy and financial well-being, calling in happiness and wealth like sunlight entering your home. White tulips symbolize peace, renewal, and clarity, helping dissolve old worries and open the path for new opportunities. And purple tulips, perhaps the most regal of all, have long represented nobility, dignity, and career recognition. Each tulip tells its own story, but together they weave a tapestry of prosperity and balance in life. From a Feng Shui perspective, tulips are considered energy amplifiers. Their upright stems and vibrant blossoms represent growth and resilience, like a torch lighting the path forward. Placing tulips in your home is said to invite both material and spiritual wealth. In particular, tulips in the living room or workspace create an atmosphere of motivation, clarity, and creative flow, fueling both personal happiness and professional advancement. Spiritually, tulips remind us of the power of renewal. Unlike flowers that bloom endlessly, tulips arrive with the seasons, teaching that every cycle in life has its peak moment of beauty and prosperity. This rhythm mirrors our own lives. We must learn when to rest, when to prepare, and when to blossom fully. By honoring these cycles, we align ourselves with nature's wisdom and step into greater harmony with the universe. On a psychological level, tulips bring a sense of freshness and new beginnings. Imagine walking into your home after a long day and seeing a vase filled with tulips on the table. Immediately there is lightness, optimism, and a reminder that beauty can be simple yet deeply transformative. For those who feel stuck or weighed down by routine, tulips whisper encouragement. Change is possible, and new doors are waiting to open. Culturally, tulips have been exchanged as tokens of affection, respect, and even hidden messages.
The sixth flower, azalea. Among the many flowers believed to carry blessings into a household, the azalea holds a very special place. Known for its vibrant blossoms and lush bush-like growth, this flower is often linked to themes of family harmony, peace, and long-lasting happiness. In cultures across Asia, especially in China and Vietnam, azaleas have been cherished for centuries as protectors of the home and as living symbols of a balanced, joyful family life. In spiritual traditions, azaleas are thought to ward off harmful energy. Their bright, almost fiery blooms are seen as a beacon of positivity, pushing away the shadows of conflict, misfortune, or disharmony. Imagine walking into a home where azaleas bloom. Immediately, the space feels lighter, calmer, and more secure. This is why so many households keep azaleas near windows, doorways, or even in gardens, as natural guardians of the home's energy field. From a Buddhist perspective, the presence of azaleas resonates with the teaching, "When the mind is at peace, all things fall into place." A blooming azalea becomes more than just a plant. It is a daily reminder of the inner work we must cultivate. Just as the flower thrives when given light and care, so too does our mind flourish when we nurture peace, compassion, and mindfulness. In this way, the azalea becomes both a spiritual teacher and a source of aesthetic joy. Psychologically, azaleas bring comfort and stability. Studies in environmental psychology suggest that living among flowers can reduce stress, improve emotional balance, and enhance overall well-being. Azaleas, with their rich clusters of blossoms, create an atmosphere of abundance and continuity. Their presence whispers to the subconscious, "You are safe, you are supported, your family is protected." In Feng Shui, azaleas are associated with protection and domestic stability. Placing them in the living room or near the kitchen is believed to strengthen bonds among family members, encourage understanding, and prevent unnecessary conflict. Their energy balances the fire and water elements of a home, ensuring that relationships remain warm without burning out and peaceful without becoming stagnant. Culturally, gifting azaleas has long been considered a blessing for families. To give an azalea plant to someone is to wish them happiness, unity, and resilience. Unlike cut flowers that fade quickly, azaleas are hardy and enduring, symbolizing a love and prosperity that lasts.
The seventh flower, the yellow chrysanthemum. Among the many flowers celebrated across cultures, the yellow chrysanthemum shines with a brilliance that has earned it the title of a flower of longevity and fortune. For centuries, this blossom has been revered not only for its beauty, but also for the powerful spiritual and symbolic meanings it carries. When a pot of golden chrysanthemums blooms inside a home, it is more than decoration. It becomes a radiant emblem of abundance, health, and lasting happiness. In Eastern traditions, particularly in China and Japan, chrysanthemums are associated with endurance and a long, prosperous life. Their blossoms emerge in late autumn, a season when many other flowers fade, which is why they are seen as a symbol of resilience, vitality, and perseverance. To display yellow chrysanthemums in the home is to align your household with these qualities, inviting not just wealth, but also the strength to enjoy it for many years to come. The color yellow itself magnifies the flower's significance. In Feng Shui, yellow represents earth energy, stability, nourishment, and grounding. It also resonates with wealth and prosperity, evoking the glow of gold. A pot of yellow chrysanthemums, therefore, becomes a magnet for financial stability and joyful energy, often believed to lock in fortune while keeping negative influences away. From a spiritual perspective, chrysanthemums embody completeness and fulfillment. Their many layered petals resemble the unfolding of life itself, each layer representing wisdom, patience, and blessings. In Buddhist symbolism, the chrysanthemum is often linked to clarity and purity of thought, reminding us that true happiness comes not from clinging to the fleeting, but from embracing the eternal rhythm of life. On a psychological level, yellow chrysanthemums radiate optimism. The vibrant colors stimulate positive emotions, boost confidence, and brings a sense of warmth into the household. Imagine sitting down for a meal with family while a pot of golden chrysanthemums sits nearby. Its presence naturally uplifts the atmosphere, softening tension and deepening bonds among loved ones. In many Asian households, gifting chrysanthemums is a gesture of wishing someone a prosperous and long life.
It's not unusual for families to bring a pot of yellow chrysanthemums into the home during festive times like Lunar New Year, symbolizing that the months ahead will be filled with happiness, resilience, and good fortune.
Flower number 8, the orchid. Among all the flowers celebrated across cultures, the orchid holds a special place as the symbol of nobility, prosperity, and refined beauty. For centuries, people have believed that orchids are not just decorative plants, but powerful vessels of spiritual and material abundance. Their delicate yet enduring blossoms carry a silent energy, whispering the promise of elegance, wisdom, and wealth. When an orchid blooms inside a home, it is often seen as a sign that prosperity is awakening, as though the universe itself is aligning to open the flow of blessings. In Buddhist philosophy, the orchid is linked with purity of mind and clarity of spirit. Just as the flower stands tall and graceful despite its fragile appearance, it teaches us the value of inner strength and resilience. The orchid reminds us that true prosperity is not measured solely by possessions, but by the richness of wisdom and the serenity of one's heart. To nurture an orchid is also to nurture patience, as it requires care and devotion, qualities that echo the teachings of mindfulness and compassion. From a Feng Shui perspective, orchids are considered one of the most powerful enhancers of prosperity energy. They are often placed in living rooms, offices, or workspaces to attract not only financial success, but also harmony in relationships. An orchid in the home is believed to elevate the entire atmosphere, creating balance between luxury and tranquility. Its blossoms are like silent guardians, drawing in opportunities while gently dissolving negativity. Historically, orchids were revered by scholars and aristocrats in Asia as emblems of wisdom, dignity, and spiritual refinement. In Europe, they later became associated with prestige and exclusivity, often gifted during important milestones such as weddings, housewarmings, or business openings. The presence of orchids in these moments was never accidental. It symbolized the desire for a flourishing future filled with abundance and joy. When you see an orchid blooming, imagine it as more than a flower. It is a doorway to new opportunities, a living reminder that prosperity thrives where wisdom and patience dwell. Each petal unfolding is like a key unlocking hidden blessings, inviting you to align your intentions with the abundant flow of life itself.
8 flowers, 8 keys, each one carrying the potential to unlock a new dimension of abundance in your life. From the lotus, the supreme symbol of enlightenment and inner peace, to the orchid, a beacon of wisdom and prosperity, every blossom tells a story that goes far beyond beauty. Together, these flowers form a living mandala of wealth, health, love, and harmony, gently reminding us that the universe communicates through symbols, and nature itself is a sacred messenger. In Buddhist philosophy, planting flowers is more than a simple act of decoration. It is an offering, a way of sowing virtue into the fabric of reality. The lotus, for example, teaches us to rise from mud without being tainted, just as we can rise above suffering with clarity. The chrysanthemum whispers about longevity and enduring happiness. The rose reminds us of love and compassion, while the sunflower inspires resilience and optimism. Each flower is a silent teacher, guiding us toward mindfulness, gratitude, and inner richness. When you cultivate flowers, you are also cultivating virtues, patience, care, awareness, and these are the seeds of karmic merit that inevitably bloom into blessings. In Feng Shui and spiritual traditions across the world, flowers are considered amplifiers of positive energy. Their colors, forms, and fragrances shift the vibrations of a space, clearing stagnant energy and drawing in fortune. But beyond material wealth, they elevate the spirit. A home filled with flowers becomes a sanctuary where the soul feels nourished and the heart finds peace. The act of tending to them is itself a spiritual practice.
Watering, pruning, and watching them grow reminds us of impermanence, resilience, and the power of nurturing what truly matters. So what does this mean for you? It means that prosperity isn't only about money or possessions, it's about cultivating a field of energy where joy, love, and abundance can flourish naturally. These 8 flowers are like 8 guardians, silently weaving threads of good fortune into the fabric of your everyday life. Start today. Plant at least one of these flowers, whether it's the humble chrysanthemum, the radiant sunflower, or the noble orchid. As you nurture it, you'll discover that it's not only your home that becomes brighter, but your spirit as well. For when you plant beauty, you are also planting blessings. And when you sow seeds of virtue, you will surely reap a harvest of abundance.